In these days of violence and turbulence everywhere in the world, it's difficult to comprehend how we can create peace in our lives, peace in our communities, peace in our countries, and ultimately world peace. But when there is such violence in the world everywhere, then the recycling of trauma is only going to cause more trauma. That's how it works. Ultimately, it's trauma that causes violence. It's the memory of trauma. The memory of trauma is anger. The desire to get even is hostility and vengeance. Feeling guilty about it causes mental distress too, and causes shame and humiliation. And then the depletion of energy as a result of all of the above is ultimately what we call depression. So recycling trauma or the memory of trauma with trauma only increases the trauma. Is there a solution? And wisdom traditions tell us there is. The solution is frequently referred to as comprising of three things: seva, selfless service, which is love in action, which is also called karma yoga, and it begins with empathy. So that's the first practice: love in action, service. The second practice is called sangha, to engage in a community that has other people seeking the same thing that we all seek: empathy, compassion, joy, equanimity, love. So creating a sangha is really creating a community of like-minded people who share peace practices, in many different ways: volunteering their time, working toward a cause they care about, donating to charity, or simply being kind and helpful to others. They practice loving kindness as a community. So that's called sangha, community of peace and wisdom. And the third practice is called simran. So what is simran? Simran is actually another memory, a memory that goes beyond our conditioned separate mind. The memory of wholeness, the memory of connectedness, the memory of inseparability, the memory that no matter what happens, we are entangled, both in our joy and our suffering. Simran starts by simple things like chanting a mantra, repeating a prayer, simply sitting quietly and focusing on our breath. But ultimately, Simran happens when the identity moves from the ego body mind to the field of awareness, in which the ego body mind is a conditioned process that creates the feeling of separation and loneliness and fear and anxiety and anger, hostility, humiliation, shame, depression, all of that. So in these days of turbulence all over the world, is it possible? Is it possible for us to, in however little way we can, practice love in action with all those around us? Can we do that? Can we also create communities of service and helping each other where we have a shared vision for a more peaceful, just, sustainable, healthier, and joyful experience of existence and our existence together. But can we also move from our separate identity to that identity where everything is inseparable? Everything is inseparable. From the body, mind, ego to I am the field and I'm the knower of the field of awareness. When we shift there, then there is some hope. Some hope. Right now, the situation in the world is very depressing and it feels very helpless. But remember, there's a part of you that can be free of this recycling of trauma. Think of an analogy, a metaphor. I'm thinking of one right now. So, yeah, surface of the ocean. The surface of the ocean, the waves seem very turbulent, and they are. As they interact with each other, the turbulent waves create even more turbulence. But you go to the bottom of the ocean, and there's stillness. That bottom of the ocean is free from the surface of the ocean, where all the turbulence is. So, like that, your true self is free of the turbulence that is now expressing itself as the traumatic body-mind experiences. You can identify with the waves, or you can identify with the deep stillness of the bottom of the ocean. Be free of it, and then ask yourself, how can I, along with others, find a creative solution to this recycling of trauma which hasn't worked for thousands of years? Is there a creative solution? That creative solution requires a lot of courage, a lot of bravery, and a lot of vulnerability at the same time. That creative solution requires re-looking at context, at meaning, at relationship, and at the stories that have endlessly recycled as trauma, the stories. So, can we together have shared vision? Can we together leverage each other's creative possibilities for peace, prosperity, justice, sustainability, health, joy? Can we have that shared vision? Can we collectively harness our creativity? Can we bond spiritually and emotionally? Is it possible?